Arkansas Board of Directors to order. A couple of housekeeping things. One, if you wish to address the board tonight, we encourage you to fill out a citizen's communication card there on the ledge. Get it to our city clerk so you can get that to me. Also, if you have your cell phone with you, would you please silence your cell phone during the course of our meeting? Also, for the board's information, item number 7, the third reading of the ordinance for the new code has been pulled from the agenda at the request of the city manager. So having said that, we will have a roll call.
Assistant Mayor Harris.
Here.
Director Hollabush.
Here.
Director Brewer.
Here.
Director Jewell.
Here.
Director Smith.
Here.
Director Roberts.
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here. At this time, we'll stand for our invocation and pledge of allegiance. So let us pray. Gracious God, thank you for this day and all the blessings that you've given us, and be with each and every person here that's representing our community tonight, and be with our city staff as we conduct city business, and be with us as we leave here and keep us safe. For it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. We'll move right on into our citizens' communication time. Mark Luckett.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for allowing me to stand before y'all this evening and speak. It's basically very brief. Same thing I spoke about the last time on the addressing the A&P Commission. I implore of Director Ward 3 to step down and resign his position on the A&P Commission. With what his actions were a few meetings ago, he proved on YouTube video that he is not fitting to serve on our commission, our A&P Commission, rather. That's all I've got to say.
George.
Good evening, Board. My name is George Dodson. I'm here to talk about the A&P Board and the incident that we had on the 26th of June, where Director of Ward 3 removed someone from the A&P Commission by himself and canceled a contract by himself. If there's anybody who questions my word, please go to YouTube, watch the video. June 26th, Texarkana A&P Commission. That's where you will see Director of Ward 3 remove somebody on his own accord with one vote. Not 7, 1. He also canceled a contract. I'm here right now because we have since had a meeting, and he showed up. It's extremely uncomfortable in that meeting. I don't feel comfortable being there with him because I don't trust him. I don't trust him because he's lied to me twice. In a meeting, he lied to my face, said he wanted Meredith Mills to be reappointed, and then voted it down. Said he wanted to extend a contract for all brand-kind, and then voted it down. That's not right. That's why no one wants to volunteer. It's an uncomfortable situation on the A&P Commission when I don't trust him because I'm next. Meredith Mills doesn't trust him because it's already happened to her. I understand that there's probably more to this than I see and feel. I get that. But this is a small town. And I get asked no less than 10 times a day, has he stepped down? And I say, no, he hasn't. They say, why? I said, well, you'll have to ask him. Can the A&P remove him? It's my knowledge we cannot remove him. He either has to step down on his own or the board has to remove him. I'm asking him to do the right thing and step down, number one. Number two, I'm asking you to apologize to Meredith Mills for what you did to her. The amount of grief and the amount of questions she had to answer based on your actions. No one else played this game but you. You did this to her, and you refused to apologize. I don't understand why. It's the manly thing to do. When you mess up, you apologize. It's about honor and doing the right thing. You were in the military. But this, I mean, this is all about doing the right thing. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. It was wrong what he did. He knows it because he rescinded his vote so she could be put back on the board, okay? He knows it was wrong, yet he still will not apologize. Still on the board. I don't feel comfortable with him there. I'm a grown man. She doesn't feel comfortable with him. That's 2 of 7. And I'll be here every meeting. Every meeting. I'm going to make it known how I feel at every AMP board. And I guess I'm going to have to keep doing it until someone wants to act right. It behooves me why we can't get this behind us, which tells me there is an ulterior motive built into this. And I don't know what it is, but I'm going to find out. I got time, I got an audience, and I got a pulpit, okay? I'm going to keep preaching how wrong this is. I'm going to keep telling everybody how wrong this is until something or someone does the right thing. It's not that difficult. Do the right thing, step down so AMP can operate as it should, an independent body without ulterior motives, which is where we are right now with him on the board. Thank you very much.
Was there any reason given for the actions of the director?
I haven't heard any reasons about why he did it. I haven't heard, no, to answer your question, sir, not to my knowledge. I can't speak for anything anybody else has heard or been told, but to my knowledge, he's never apologized. He's never said why he wanted to do it or why he felt so compelled to say, I would like to recommend Meredith Mills be reappointed. There's 4 people there. 3 of us voted yes, yes, yes. He votes no. She's off the board. 1 vote.
His actions are actually without merit, right? I mean, the A&P actually can't appoint anybody. This board actually appoints.
We're nominated by AMP, and then the board of directors approves that nomination according to what I understand. There are 2 directors from this group who, I don't know if they're appointed, I don't know if they're voted on, I don't know that process, but I know that there's 2 directors who are on the AMP commission.
Off this board.
Off of this board.
Right.
And we as a committee don't have any say on that for whatever reason. It is what it is. But he was appointed by this board, and now the board can't operate like it should because of his presence and because of his actions. June 26th. Don't listen to me. Go watch it for yourself.
But as far as you know, there's no explanation or given or no apology offered to Ms. Mills?
No,
the
sir.
director?
There has not been. You might want to ask him yourself. But from what I understand, from what Meredith has told me, no explanation, no apology. And he represents the bunch of you. He literally does on that board because you guys put him there, so he's a representative of you. And that's what he wants to do. I don't see how there's not more outrage between the 7 of you.
Well, I believe his actions were not reflective of this board. You know, I think he did it strictly for whatever reasons on his personal behalf. He wasn't reflective of this board.
I agree with you to an extent. He's appointed by this board, and he can be removed by this board. You have power, as do all these other directors, to either pressure him to
Director Harris.
remove, or he can remove on his own.
Mayor,
Director Harris?
I want to make a response to you. Back in 2017, I know none of y'all was up here in 2017, that I was down there in, at the city, what we call it, Rail Fest. Okay, I suppose I had got into a argument with a guy down at Rail Fest, which I'm gonna bring the video at the next board meeting to show it, that I suppose got into an argument with people at Rail Fest. Before the ink got dry, that board at that time removed me off of Rail Fest, or moved me off from the A&P position. No, they moved me from that. But if you look at the video, I had my arm folded and saying I was being harassed. But at the time in 2017, the board that was up here, they removed me from the A&P. So I'm saying that to say that, yes, this board can remove a person if they feel they had a just cause, I guess, in a way. But then again, they can remove it even though just cause they want to in my behalf. But what I'm going to do is show the video at the next board meeting and show, I ain't going to show what went on there, but I guess it's obvious what went on there. But this board do have the authority to remove a board member at will, because we serve at the will on any commission that we appoint. And that's what I was told. But based on my issue, I'll just let the video show that. But I'm not trying to say that to uphold what he done or to go against what he just done. I'm just trying to bring that to the point that, yes, this board does have the power to remove any person that that we appoint. And yes, he was appointed by this board, back in, 2 years ago? So,
I've been to 3 meetings, and here I am. This is why no one wants to volunteer.
okay.
This is why it's a good old boys club, and I guess I'm not a good old boy. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
I do have one comment. Tyler, I would like to, in the future, maybe us go into an executive session in the future, and so we can discuss that. Of course, not this meeting, but probably the next meeting we'll have you, so we can.
May I have a reclamation of some remaining time, since I did not speak the full 5 minutes?
Sure.
The only person in this room that knows the agenda of Director of Board 3, who's on that A&P commission, is himself. He brought up something that was not on that night's agenda.
That's correct.
He brought it up as if he wanted it to happen, but then he voted for it not to happen. And now that I fully realize that he can be removed from that commission by our board of directors, you stated that it was not reflective of the board. It's reflective of all of this board. It's reflective of the city of Texarkana, Arkansas. It was on YouTube video for not only Texarkana to see, but for the United States of America and all of this world to see. That was what was showed. That's the true colors. That man, who I feel like has no integrity whatsoever, showed the world. Thank you.
Corey?
Hi, Lori Mobbs, 6118 Timber Creek. I have a question. I don't even know who to bring this up to. So there was I'm on a bunch of Facebook pages for animals, rescues, and I have rescued so many animals, it's really stupid, but I can't stop. There was 4 puppies dumped at the Jefferson Park. Is there any chance there's any kind of funding that can get cameras or something so that they can be prosecuted, like that's prosecutable, like abandonment, it's a felony. I sent someone to prison for animal cruelty for 7 years to Pine Bluff. So I mean, it's a felony. Is there anything we can do to like catch people in the act? Is there any camera? Is there something we can do? Is there something I need to go to?
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of the situation, but
Okay.
I'll certainly check into it.
Okay.
And see if there is.
One thing you might do, being with the school district too, you might check the school to see if they have a camera on that street. So
Yeah.
they could have some video out there.
Okay.
It's a good idea to triangulate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know where else to go. So.
And
that's-
we're, called the county as well, because they've got $50-something thousand sitting in an account that's been there for years and years. It's a voluntary tax that people pay, and when people are paying it, they think it's coming to our shelter, and it's not. And the county doesn't have a shelter, so it's just sitting there. And that could go a long way in helping us with problems like that.
Yeah, because it was 4 adorable, cute little puppies, and they were just left inside. Luckily, one of us in all the Facebook pages of rescuing animals went and grabbed them. But there's only so much of us, so at least we could prosecute them. Like, I mean, come on, make it not worth their while to not be criminals. Like, so,
Okay.
thank you.
I'll look into it,
Okay,
give you
I
a call.
appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Pete Cheatham.
Mayor, at this point, could I be seeing my comments so other people speak?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wish to address the board? Does anyone else wish to address the board tonight? I guess it's you, Pete.
I get it always be.
Liddell, you're not gonna talk tonight?
Okay, since I'm roughly coming up to speak, I have a couple of concerns, and some of my concern is about the area we live in has become something similar to a dumping ground as for the, on 9th Street, and also the pollution problem in the neighborhood. So at this point, I want to ask the board, would I be out of order if I request for EPA do a study on Ward 3 to determine of the environment damage and pollution to the residents in our community? Some of the citizens' concern is that if it's area in which EPA declare, whereas we residents need to possibly relocate, that they did in Carpenter because of the pollution of the plant in which they had, because there was a lot of damage to the people, physical as well as mental damage and health issues. So I'm asking the board, could they request EPA to come in and do a survey of our neighborhood behind the pollution problem that the iron pile has, and also the railroad have in our neighborhood? So that's all I have.
Have to get somebody to get back with you, because I can't answer that for you.
Okay, Mayor.
Anyone else wish to address the board? Anyone else? Hearing and seeing none, I'll move on to our presentations. We have 3 service awards. Our city manager will be presenting tonight. I think all 3 of them are here. The first one is Miss Jamie Finley with Public Works for 5 years.
That's all right. I'm good.
You got to.
Next is Gary Dodd with the Fire Department, 20 years. And she's here. You can dig it. Yeah, she's got it.
Hang on.
And last is tonight is Christine Nous with the Police Department, 20 years. Moving right along to our consent agenda, item number 2 is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting on July 21st. Item number 3 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Pine Grove Place Water Line Replacement Project. Item number 4 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Business Communication Systems Connects for a 36-month contract for the provision and deployment of an enterprise voice-over internet protocol phone system for Texarkana Water Utilities and the city of Texarkana, Arkansas. What is the desire of the board for the consent agenda?
Motion to adopt the consent edition as read.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the consent agenda passes. Moving right on into our regular agenda, item number 5 is to adopt a resolution directing the city manager to forgive all eligible demolition liens up to $10,000. Director Harris.
I'm somewhat, even though I put this in, I'm kind of confused as to what before y'all, because that is not the direction I was going with it. That even though I had some conversation today with the city attorney, and well, I said email, back and forth email. And what I was trying to do is that he just, without, just give him, the city manager, the direction, just release the lien, that could be released. And that was I was trying to do, but I see that because basically you're almost just redoing what was in here, what we did almost 2 or 3 months ago.
I'm not understanding what you're trying. So he has the authority to forgive a lien now less than $10,000 or less.
Yeah, based on his conclusion or whatever. Myself is just saying, just go ahead and just release the lien other than CBG funds. You know you can't do it with that.
Right.
Just go ahead and just release the liens.
All of them?
That, not with demolition. Yeah, we ain't talking about for cutting the grass and all that
Right.
stuff.
You're
Just
talking
go ahead.
about the demos.
Yeah, just the demo that he can do, but what y'all have before, to me, and I didn't write it, I tried to submit something that was going in the direction that I was trying to get at, but that was basically, and then it had on there, Laney Harris this, Laney Harris that on it. I didn't know you started writing resolution, all about, person say Laney Harris. Even though I'm the one that putting it up there, I didn't know you had to really put my name in but it's out now, because I asked, what was the purpose behind that? And I'm just trying to just get the city manager just release the lien and not going through a big, complicated bureaucrat just to do it.
Just to be clear,
Mhm.
that we voted to give the city manager command authority to release the liens up to $10,000 for
Mhm.
residential demolitions,
Right,
right?
mhm.
And so, right now, so this is before us to go ahead and make it automatic? Is that what I'm understanding? Instead of waiting to be prompt from the citizens?
Yeah, before the citizen, because if you look at what was done, I'm using that house, I'm assuming that this came about with that container house over there on Ferguson Street, going right around. That's how this first came about, for you want to release lien?
No, sir.
Okay, Was there a lien on that property over there that you had released?
No, sir. We didn't release any liens for the container home property.
Okay, but had you released any lien for some property?
I have on Marguerite.
Mark, okay.
Yes, sir.
And so, and what I'm trying to do, just have him know, but I didn't see how you make a little simple thing get so complicated. That's what I'm getting.
Right.
mixed up with.
So
I'm confused myself.
the resolution,
I done got confused,
the resolution right now that's on the book states that y'all gave the city manager authority to forgive a lien under $10,000, but they had to sign an agreement to
Build back on the property.
build back on the property.
Correct.
So it says he may forgive liens under $10,000. And so I think now, from what I'm hearing, Assistant Mayor Harris wants to forgive any lien under $10,000 that's not a CBGB grant.
Is that correct?
yes,
So why even put a lien on something to begin with?
yeah, that's,
Well-
because they're not being paid anyway. So how many liens being paid?
I do not know that.
Other than
couple.
going through the
But
process,
then you don't have,
other than,
then you wouldn't have any promise to build back. It would just, and why would anybody pay a demolition lien to begin with? If they knew it was automatically forgiven or not even attempted in the first place.
who paying it now anyway? How many being paid now?
Probably 10%.
Okay. But to me, I just feel that's, what's in place now is just stunning growth in the poor areas and.
Well, there-
and-
All those people would have to do is ask and they would be forgiven
Yeah,
because the
but they don't
majority of
even
them
know
under
that
10.
they can do it. I even asked him, won't he just make a press release that they could be done and put it on the Facebook page? I know at some time he feel that he only the board member of 6 people, then 7 people at times. And I know you don't want to get it.
I'm not gonna get into all
Well, I
that.
know you
Well-
don't want to get in all of that, but I asked that.
That's
question.
not relevant to
It
the,
is relevant to the question.
no, it's not.
It is. It
Well-
is relevant. If some of the things wouldn't be relevant, I wouldn't be asking for certain things.
Well, this does make them agree to maintain the property,
Yeah.
to be forgiven, so that it would. but-
That's already.
But just to do a blanket coverage of just forgive all of them is not something that I would support because you do have a chance of collecting some of them. And our same procedure right now is to research these liens prior to putting them on there to see if there's any collectability on it. We've met with the tax collector who has to record all these liens. We have a procedure in place. We very simply just gave him the authority if someone approached us to forgive those liens, providing they wanted that particular lot to build on, to do something new again, and I don't see anything wrong with that. That's my opinion.
So, to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. So this resolution was written based on your email revisions that were sent back to us. And so you're wanting to remove where it says, whereas liens are eligible to be forgiven contingent upon an agreement to maintain the property or build back on the property.
I'm not really taking that out, but you automatically gonna, you just say, how many people gonna lose their house or their property? You put the lien on there, and then the idea, you putting the lien on the front end, and then if somebody don't pay the lien, you end up cutting the grass anyway. It end up going through a tax sale we just had, people end up losing their property anyway, so. and-
Those liens are not on the front end. The demo liens are not on the front end. Just the grass cutting and the others are on the front end. The $200 ones are on the front end. The demolitions are not.
So like I said, I'm, no, because if it was put in the way I thought I was writing it, it's not, that's not there. So
Would you like to table it and rewrite it and present it?
I wouldn't want to, that ain't what I was trying to do. I guess yes on that.
All right, so make a motion, we'll table it.
Move table this next board.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's a motion and a second to table. Could you call the
It may
roll,
not go
please?
nowhere anyway, but.
Could you call the roll,
Why-
please?
Why,
Assistant Mayor Harris,
yes.
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the resolution is tabled. Moving on to item number 6, is adopt an ordinance approving the city employee customer service standards.
Okay, now, this is the other ordinance, why I had to put in there, and I'm gonna say this too, Mayor. I know you may not wanna hear things sometimes I say, that I had to jump through the hoops to get this on this agenda, you know, and one from, Ward, 6, board member, I guess jumping through the hoops is over with, but, but what this is, it's a customer service ordinance. And that's what I'm trying to do. Now, we all up here about being customer service. Well, I'm sorry, Ward 5. So, I'm sorry, I didn't want to, I was trying not to call your name. It wasn't Ward 6.
You can call me that.
Yeah, it was Ward 5, so, Danny Jewel, so he'll mind. And if y'all know what I'm getting at is that we had something in place that if a board member puts something on the agenda, and if the city manager says no, we had to have a workshop, and then we had to get another board member to agree, to put something on the agenda. So it was, the city manager had said no, this first came up to him, and we had a workshop, and Mr. Jewell agreed to have this on the agenda. Now, whether he agreed with it or not, he just said, I'll let him say his own word, but he just felt that a board member should have the authority to put something on the agenda. So if I said anything out of the way from you and say, Mr. Jewell. Now, back to the issue at hand. What this does, that is just a customer service. It just tell how the city should just act with doing customer service. Now, like I said, we is up here, and that is customer service. You know, the things we do, 98% of our job is getting a customer to get with you, the citizen or business, call us up or call the city up and ask a question, and how you interacting with the citizen. And I know they saying, well, you somewhere got something in place, this and that and all that. So, and you may do, but this here is a, I think, 5-page ordinance, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, and I think I'm just gonna say one thing out of it. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Whether it said it was a policy statement included in there. Whether they agree or y'all agree or disagree with this policy statement, it said the city of Texarkana, Arkansas is committed to deliver excellent, fair, and comprehensive customer service. Personnel will provide the best customer service possible and empowered to make decisions to ensure each customer experience is meaningful, fair, and respectful. Now, that's part of the thing that's before this board that is about purpose, established procedure, scope, just different things in there. So now, and then one of the big issues we had is, was I targeting somebody with this? The answer is no. No, that was the big, if you look at the workshop that I put on the agenda, you know, it was somewhat suggested that I was targeting, somebody about this. And I'm not targeting nobody with this customer service. I just think something like this needs to be in place. Any questions, any comments?
I have a question, Assistant Mayor Harris. We currently have customer service policy in place. Is this going to be in addition to that? Is this going to be separate from it or added to?
We went through that because this is a standalone customer service issue. No, because at the time, a lady came up out of the ordinance and saying that, this ain't got to go through the personnel policy committee before y'all can vote on it. And I kind of would say this, you wouldn't have a personnel policy committee, one for me, because I'm the one who put forward that ordinance twice before this governing body back. I can't remember the year. The first time they told me no. The second time, you can probably look at the record and see if I'm lying or not. And you got a personnel policy committee because of me. And they would have said no. I don't know where this could have went to, but I guess that's something the city attorney or something could have, but this is just a standalone, item, like I said, and I'm not charging nobody, I just think it's something.
So it's not intended to replace the current one, it's just separate from.
If it was
its entirety.
intending to replace the current one, I would have that, you scratch out this line and that, and then you would have to go through the personnel policy committee and all the other stuff for y'all to even be looking at this. So basically, your answer to that is no.
I got a question here. We see here, whereas it is necessary to provide city employees and citizens with customer service standards to set forth standards and procedures for city employees to abide by while performing their job duties. So it sounds like this is a protection for the city employees as well, right? That's what this is kind of,
Like I said, I'm not after nobody.
Yeah.
I'm not after nobody's job with this.
Is it enforceable if it's an ordinance?
Huh?
Is it enforceable if it's an ordinance?
Well, you gonna make me bring up the cat on it.
now, if there's,
Well, nobody
we
enforces the CAD ordinance, but they could if they wanted to, because there's an ordinance in place. So my
Yeah.
question is if it's approved, what enforceable action is if it's not followed?
It has no enforcement procedure.
I'm not, you take that up with the city attorney, I'm not
Well,
trying
to
to, I'm not
protect the
trying to take
employees.
anyway, nothing from the city, and I'm meaning about the cat ordinance, I always bring that as an example. We got an ordinance that a cat's supposed to be on the lease. And so, and now how enforceable is that? So,
Were you about to say
The
something?
one, yes. So the one thing that came to mind for me, okay, is a city employee gets written up or terminated but for something that's in this ordinance. And a few things, and I think it's been rewritten since the first draft.
I don't know which,
Okay.
see, that's another issue, I don't know which draft, I know what draft.
So this is not yours that we have tonight?
I believe it is.
Did you read it, or?
Yeah, it is, but it
Okay.
should be.
Well-
Sometime.
Well, it gives employees, city employees directions on what to do in certain circumstances. Paragraph 5, you should update the citizen about the same, and in some cases, you will provide the citizen with a work order number within 3 working days.
What's wrong with that?
Well, among other things, what if a work order is not available?
It said you may, it doesn't say you will, you may.
It says you should, okay, but what happens if a citizen brings a complaint and says they're not doing this, or they're not apologizing,
Well,
or one of them is, apologizing is one of the most difficult ones to implement. You should be ready to take up accountability. If somebody complains and says, this city employee is not taking accountability, they didn't apologize to me, they didn't communicate effectively, they can point to this ordinance and say they need to be terminated. And so protecting city employees, I'm not saying these aren't good rules to implement within the departments, but to put it in an ordinance, I don't think is wise.
well, I'm gonna say this, I know that it's getting dissected the way it's getting dissected because Laney Harris putting this up here.
That's not
I do.
correct. That's not
strongly
correct with
feel
me,
that.
Director.
I
don't feel the
strongly
same.
feel that if this would have had somebody else's name on this other than Laney Harris, it wouldn't get the scrutinized that it get. And
I have-
I'm gonna work.
I would say that's incorrect.
I have a question.
So, well, would you be opposed to having this in like a personnel policy versus an ordinance? Is there a reason for ordinance form?
When I didn't have no problem at the time they going through personnel committee, but at the time they was trying to meet, I didn't want to meet, but had something else up mine, I was doing. But what I'm trying to say is this here, that it wasn't gonna get passed for personnel because it was aimed to fail through the personnel policy committee. And that was obvious when that, what's the name, I don't know the name, the HR person or what came up, and she was adamant against it, saying this and that, you know, and that's the reason why I said what I said at first. You wouldn't have no personnel policy committee based on my, 2 or 3 times, my 2 times putting that in place to have, for y'all to have a personnel policy committee. You know, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing with your personnel policy. And that gave me another thing when I'm sitting talking about. I think our salary increase needs to go through the personnel policy committee to be, if you want to be that extreme with it, if you want to be whatever, when that, you need to let the salary increase, and that way it'll be done as a fair thing because you won't single out one department. You know, when you're ready to do a salary increase for somebody, yes, instead of singling out one department, if you go through the personnel policy committee, you won't just be singling out one party, and then you'll be looking at the whole party. And I know that is done as another instrument that I was on, but I ain't gonna really get into that. But that's another thing about personnel policy. You can use the personnel policy committee effectively as you want to, but then again, I don't see you gonna have a salary increase going through the personnel policy committee, which I think that need to be done. That's another issue there.
Tyler, I got a question. This may be already in place. When we consider employee grievances scheduled or scheduled internal audits when you come to personnel or what have you, is that something we already have in place for do internal audits to make sure that our employees, the grievances are being looked at, investigated, and if so, is there a physical standard operation procedure that's already in place that this can coincide, or just where are we when it comes to we should add this in or
Yes, we already have all of that in our personnel policy. However, this ordinance, it doesn't cover any sort of employee grievances or anything like this. This is solely about customer service, conduct towards the public. And conduct towards the public is already in our policy, which it says a lot of these same things, and I don't disagree with a lot of, they're good practices. However, they're policy. They're already in our personnel policy, and by putting them in ordinance, it causes a real concern for me.
Well, let me ask you this. Ward 2, obviously, you see something that's not, I guess, colloquial on both ends. What's missing that you feel like need to really be addressed that's not being addressed? And that what are we not hearing?
You was asking the same thing that I'm being asked in a different way. And like I said, I'm not targeting nobody with this.
Okay.
So I've been asked that 100 times, who I'm after. That came up in the workshop, that came up. I don't know why you think you have to be after somebody to put something forward.
Well, I guess
I'm still lost with that.
What he's asking, and what I'm wondering too, is as board members, anything that we bring to the board, anything we ask or request to be put onto the agenda, we're motivated by something to put it there. So what's motivated you to put this?
Like I said, when I was motivated for them to have a personnel policy committee, I was motivated because I thought that employees should be able to have input in their work, not come here and try to chastise somebody that they wouldn't be able to have a personnel policy committee.
Well, I think when it all comes down here, all 7 of us were elected by these people. Do we apologize to them enough? I mean, the city employees can only work with what we give them. I mean, they can only do so much, and we give them all that we can give, because, I'm certainly not for raising taxes or anything like that, and we do the best we can within our budget. Every time I get a phone call about a street, I apologize for it, but I'm apologizing for decades of neglect. This didn't happen yesterday, last week. This has been going on forever. So we're now reaping the benefits of what wasn't done. So, I mean, yes, it is everybody's job to apologize, but we need to be the main ones because we were elected to represent these people.
Yes, and with that being said, I do think if there's not a concerted effort to protect our employees, this may or may not be where this is going. So, just,
Understand too, our employee, which this ain't direct, no, look at the first thing in there by employee. No, I ain't gonna even get into that because you trying to say I'm after employee, we getting back into the same thing where the workshop is headed. And this ain't after nobody. You know?
This ordinance has no enforcement
Well,
procedure.
like I said.
But it was brought up at the workshop the other day that perhaps it could be used by us, the seven of us, as a evaluation tool when it comes to evaluating the city manager.
I didn't say it.
I know, but you're only one of seven.
I didn't say
So,
that. You
well,
Those may not be your intentions, but it
but
can certainly
I
be used that
could-
way by anybody who sits up here.
If I, say, another city manager, I could come say, hey, we got this ordinance, and some of the employees, I'm getting some complaints, I can say, you're not doing your job, not keeping these people in line. So it could be used as a mechanism
You
to,
can do it. The employees are at will employee. You can use anything.
well, I understand
for
that,
employee.
but so.
You can use that. He came in at 1 minute after 8, and if you want to fire somebody, you can find any reason to fire anybody. It may not be fair, it may
Well,
not be right.
I understand, but my point being is, there's a lot of issues in here that are very subjective, that I could use ammunition against somebody
And I
in
think
power
that's the whole-
within the staff,
Okay.
most of the city managers say, hey, these people are not doing their job, so
And
I'm gonna evaluate you a little lower.
And I think that's the whole issue with this. For some reason, he think I'm after him with this, even though I've
Well,
shown.
but I'm putting myself
Okay.
in that position.
Well, whether he think I'm after him or not,
Not you,
He-
me.
Well,
I'm after, let's say,
I'm not after.
I could use
You
this.
know, he-
I could use this.
Try to get back to the matter at hand. Is there any other discussion with the ordinance? If not, I would instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance on its first reading in title form.
An ordinance adopting customer service standards and procedures for the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, and for other purposes.
The ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading tonight? Desire to have it read on its second reading.
second read abbreviated form, please.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to have it read on its second reading. Any other discussion? Would you call the roll?
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollobush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
No.
An ordinance adopting customer service standards and procedures for the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, and for other purposes.
The ordinance has been read on its second reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its third and final reading?
Motion placed on third reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
So motion and a second to have it read on its third and final reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollobush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
No.
An ordinance adopting customer service standards and procedures for the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. What would be the desire of the board to adopt? The desire to motion to adopt.
Motion for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? I want to speak against it. I don't know if any of y'all have read the ordinance, but for one, as the CAD ordinance says, it is unenforceable. The second thing is, there are numerous grammatical errors in here. There are I couldn't understand, I can't even comprehend 2 or 3 of these sentences in here as far as what we're actually supposed to do and read, and yet we're going to go back and pass something and require our employees to do these things that we don't even understand. I don't know that any of you have read the ordinance tonight that's in the packet. I don't know that Director Harris has read it, because he hasn't even said that he don't know if this is the one he submitted or not.
Well, the reason why I'm gonna say that is.
Do you think the city staff changes your stuff after you submit it to them because they don't like you or something? I don't know what that is.
They normally correct spelling and do this and do that. For some reason, it wasn't done this time, but you kind of wonder why, you know?
But we're passing on things like conducting customer surveys and doing these types of things that we can't do.
But you kind of wonder why, you know, everything else I submit, that it go through the clerk, and she correct the spelling, and I ain't saying the clerk over there now, but, you know,
I don't know. But I'm not supporting this. This would be an injustice to the system to put this on our books in its present form.
But what I'm trying to say is this, you know, it normally get through in the spelling, the grammar, I ain't saying I'm the smartest person up here, I ain't gonna never say I am, you know, and I brought that up at the workshop. I thought maybe she was gonna look at it and correct the grammar and.
If I recall, a couple of years ago, in some ordinances that you submitted to City Hall that I read, you asked them not to be changed.
That was some of them.
You asked them not to be
But
changed,
if
and
you
we read them
change
as
the
presented.
content as to what I'm saying or what I'm trying to do, yeah, I'm gonna stand up and say, hey, you're going way left field. I'm trying to go down the home.
I'm speaking of this particular
I'm just
ordinance,
saying,
and
yeah,
I'm not voting to adopt it.
Hey,
Any other
I
discussion?
said, this was.
Point of order.
Hey, listen.
We got a motion, a second.
We got a motion and a second to adopt. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak for or against prior to the vote?
But I'm gonna say that based on the point of order, if you have a certain time as to talk, you know, if I'm understanding how parliament procedure go, if you have a certain amount of time to talk on an ordinance or thing, I don't think that we didn't set that standard, you know.
We've always asked prior to a ordinance being adopted.
No,
if
he's
you wish
saying
to
that he
speak
want a
for
point of order for me to shut up. That's basically what he's trying to say.
I just asked again, is there
And I-
anyone here wishing to speak for or against this ordinance prior to adoption?
Mayor, I have
He asked for a point of order and a question for the vote. Did he do that?
No. We're going to ask for, we have a motion and a second to adopt,
Okay.
and we have had one person speak against it. I'm asking again, is there anyone else here wishing to speak for or against?
Yes, I would like to say,
All
I
right.
have a comment. I think with the enlightenment that's been brought forth, that the ordinance is incomplete at this time as far as the completion of making sure that, you know, everything is correct, and that we can be able to move forward and do things, I guess, we just need to make sure that it's nice and clean. I understand that it wasn't corrected grammatically. I mean, I wouldn't turn a paper in like that, and I wouldn't expect for us to, you know, have that submitted to us. And so I know it didn't get cleaned up or whatever, for whatever reason it didn't get cleaned up. I think we need to really take that in consideration, and there's no rush to failure. We can still fix this, but I don't think it's just a rush to.
I think grammatically, if it was spotless, I still would not support it. It's unnecessary, especially in ordinance form.
Anything else? Could you call the roll?
Assistant Mayor Harris?
Yes.
Director Hollibush?
No.
Director Brewer?
Yes.
Director Jewell?
Correction. No. For the record.
Jewell?
No.
Director Smith?
No.
Director Roberts?
No.
Mayor Brown?
No, and the ordinance fails.
And may I
Yes.
And I'm gonna say this, that my feelings not hurt by all these no's. This ain't the first pass, and it's probably ain't gonna be the last pass. If I see something I need to submit before this governing body, I'm gonna do it. And that's it.
Moving on to item number 8, item number 7 was pulled. Item number 8 is to adopt an ordinance amending ordinance number K 286 to rezone the property located at 6212 Tennessee Road from R1 rural residential to A1 limited mixed use for the purpose of operating a berry farm. Jamie.
Heather, do you have the slides?
I'm sorry. I did.
Oh, I got the other.
All on the iPad.
Yeah, and on the printout.
You have to make it big again, right?
Well, that's okay.
I've looked at this, I don't need to.
That's all right, Heather.
It don't matter.
There we go.
Okay. So, first, this is the property, the LaFours own this piece of property here. They're asking to rezone it A1, limited mixed use, in order to operate a berry farm, a come-pick-it-yourself berry farm. This is Tennessee Road, this is Rolling Ridge over here. They've got 4.5 acres here. Right now, there's a trailer on the property. They are intending to live on the property. Next slide. Everything around it and it is zoned R1 right now. And on the next slide, there is water available on Tennessee Road. There is no septic out there, so they will have to have a septic tank, or no sewer out there. The LaFours, they are going to live on the property. They are going to plant, it's worth noting, they're going to plant a berry patch anyway for their own private use. The only reason we need to rezone this is because they want to make it a commercial venture, and people can come out and pay to pick the blueberries and the blackberries. So that's the only reason it needs to be rezoned. But they do intend to plant the berry patch regardless. They are here this evening.
And the planning commission, were there any opposition?
There was, the planning commission, the neighbors were opposed to it on the basis they were concerned about the fertilizer they were using, poisoning the water and the soil. They were concerned about parking. We felt there was plenty of adequate parking here. They've got 4.5 acres. I don't see there being dozens of cars out there to pick berries at once. There was also concerns about strangers being in the neighborhood. But the board voted unanimously to pass it on to y'all.
They have 4.5 acres total. How much is going to be planted?
I'll let them answer that.
About 2 acres, just the left side of the property, so we're gonna start with the blackberries.
About half the property.
That property is located in my ward, and I have not had one complaint, one phone call about it.
I mean, they could do it anyway.
They can plant the berries for their private use by right.
But could they pick their own berries and take them to the farmer's market and sell them?
Yes, they can. Because they're not operating, they can do that. The issue is they operating a commercial business here on that property. Now, if they pick them and take them to a farmer's market, that's no different than people that grow their tomatoes and take them to the farmer's market.
Any other? Go
And quite honestly, if they wanted to grow the berries and just let people come pick them for free, we can't stop them from doing that either, because that's still a private venture.
Why we voting then?
Because they have to rezone it A1 if they want to make it, if they want to charge people to come pick berries and blueberries on their property, then it has to be rezoned A1. A1 is designed for large tracts of land, and it's specifically designed for things like wedding venues, pumpkin mazes, pumpkin patches, and it's also specifically designed for people that want to have small agricultural commercial businesses, like they want to grow these and they want to have a little fruit stand.
There was, further down Tennessee, I think it's just outside the city limits, there was a blueberry farm down there. Was there ever any issues that you know of or concerns
never
from the
gotten one
neighborhood from that?
complaint.
It's been closed for several years now, but there,
I've never heard of any issues with it, no, sir.
Jamie, the opposition letter that was submitted states rezoning to a mixed-use designation may lead to increased property taxes for surrounding residents. Any expectation of that?
Mayor Brown actually spoke to the tax assessor's office today, and it does not affect their taxes on their property. I mean, it will, the LaFours, it's not, taxes are not based on zoning,
Uh-huh,
so it will not affect the adjacent properties.
okay.
And like I said, they're here if you have any questions for them.
Does anybody else have any questions? I remind you, this is an ordinance to pass tonight. It will need to be read 3 times to pass tonight. I'll instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance on its first reading in title form.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K 286 is amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading?
Second reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for second reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Mayor Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K 286 is amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. The desire to have it read on its third and final reading.
Third reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to have it read on its third and final reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Mayor Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K 286 is amended and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. A motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Hearing and seeing none, could you call the roll?
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the ordinance is adopted. Moving right on to board commentary, is there anyone here on the board wish to address the board? Okay.
I had some question to ask, but he's not at liberty to ask that question, and it was going to the A&P, Mr. Burrow, and I just wanted to know, when you missed that meeting, did you call the city manager and let him know that you was gonna miss that meeting, you and, we talking about the meeting in question, and if so, did the other person, the other chair, did they call, and then did you ask, could that meeting be canceled?
Yes, those actions did happen. In fact, when it gets to my commentary, I'm going to address those some concerns.
Okay. And so, and then I was gonna ask the city manager, if all that, why didn't he cancel that A&P meeting in question? And what other action have you taken? Because, I must say this, I know that we have code of conduct in place, and I think it was done, because, it was put in place because of me, back in, 2017, the reason why I'm saying that is, and then I noticed that one city manager, that I put a lady police officer on Facebook, I video called, and I put it on Facebook, and she filed a complaint against me. And then Jay Ellington, but he's not here, but he gave me a copy of the code of conduct, and it was telling me, and I didn't see how I violated any law. I'm just trying to say, what action have you taken? You ain't got to really say what action. But since that's the big thing going on, have you met with Ward 3 and talked to him about the situation? I just leave it at that.
Yes, he and I have discussed that. There was nothing illegal done. So are you saying that he violated the
I'm
code
just
of
saying
conduct?
that sometimes we got different standards here at times at this board, and I know nobody wasn't here when it was put in place. And I'm just trying to figure out, and I'm not really action to take against,
If
Ward.
you all will, let me address this. As a A&P chairperson, this issue has got to be addressed because the elephant in the room, and and what I understand with putting things on the agenda, and what I'm asking is that what's the protocol for the next meeting that that I can put this on in the executive session, so as a board, we can communicate about this issue that's at hand, the elephant in the room, that we do address this. At least we need to communicate with this as a body, because this is not going to go away. As you stated, it's not illegal what happened, but it was in direct error of the protocol that's in place according to the bylaws. And so I feel like we do need to address this in an executive session with this board, because this board has the power to remove a person from the A&P. The A&P, that board can vote someone off, but it's not legal until it comes to this board to totally remove them. So what I'm asking is that our next board meeting, that we put it on our agenda for the executive session, that this council discuss this in that next meeting.
Any other comment?
Attorney,
Yes.
And I
We'll include an executive session on the next board agenda.
thank you. We need to address this. Thank you.
And what I was gonna ask the city manager is, since he, what's the status of you getting an engineer? You know, that was one of the criteria you was having for you to do what the job you're doing now, maybe to hire an engineer. So, what is that status, you know, that you seeing?
We can't hire an engineer right now. It's not budgeted.
Okay, okay. And the reason-
I am doing those duties myself at the moment.
Okay. The reason why I'm saying that, if we get into a bond thing, that if you're gonna give out a certain percentage of it for an engineering firm, you know, if you're talking about 30 million, you probably almost give 2 million or something to an engineering firm. So it would be wise that.
You can count on 8%.
We can try our best to get an engineer soon as, if we could, because even if that's the case, won't we, I know that somewhere down the line, make an agreement with an engineering firm, hey, if you do this for a certain amount of money, you know, and then put out proposal for a different engineering firm. Just don't run to the one we've been using all the time, see what's out there, you know. Well, if we trying to, and then my last issue is, which I'm gonna say this, that I know that when you ask for the bond issue and money, that I would say something need to be fair, and see is any way could that money be divided up by 6, well, we did, you know, and I'm talking about 6 wards, because, and I think that's the only way to go.
What money did I get?
Huh?
What money did I get?
Well, you the mayor, so, we got 6, well, you
We got to
gonna meet
split.
with each ward member in the group and determine as to, well, you can make it 7, if that's the case, but the reason why it's 6 ward, because I'm gonna get back to what happened the last time. You went out and you told the people, hey, we're gonna do a bond issue, we're gonna do streets in the neighborhood and stuff. Then you went across, over there in Crossroad, and did a 4-lane concrete road, $10 million. Now, I don't think nobody out there who passed that bond issue back in 2012 was thinking that they was agreeing to go and spend a $10 million concrete road out there in Crossroad. Now, look at that, no, I ain't gonna say I'm right 100% of the time, but if most of I can remember back then, there's no way in the world, because you didn't think that you were going, I think you didn't think that $10 million was going to spend, and what's so bad about it, ain't nobody came out there.
I got a question. So for what I'm understanding, moving forward, when we get ready to present this bond issue to be voted on by the citizens, you're saying like a part of that campaign is that the citizens, each ward, the monies are divided for each ward.
That's exactly what I'm saying. No question about it. Because I think it's the fairest way to do it. And then that so-called street study, I haven't seen it, even though I asked for a FOI, they did, but claimed it wasn't ready. But that street study, to this day, I haven't seen a street study that's fair to the poor neighborhood. So, and I'll leave it at that.
Any other discussion?
I got just one thing. I was reading Act 505, goes in effect tomorrow, I believe. That is kind of changing a little bit of things about the open meetings. Anyway, the executive session that we're about to have next board meeting, it expressly states that we have to state the reason that we're going into executive session versus just the executive session, right?
Right.
So we're
We do
going
that
to
anyway.
Yes.
We have to do that now.
I thought it just said executive session.
We do that on executive session now to consider appointments or consider city manager. We discuss the reason now. When we go into executive session, I will announce that reason. And it's usually in your packet. It's either a commission appointment. We only go in for two reasons, a commission appointments or discuss the city manager, or maybe the city attorney. Any other discussion?
Hey, one last question. I know I heard it was brought up about hiring an engineer. Is that something in the future? I know we discussed it a couple of years ago. That's still on the table, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely still on the table. We'll cover the cost of an engineer and what we pay engineers alone every year. But it is not easy to find an engineer. It's very, very difficult.
Any other discussion? Yes, sir.
I was gonna tell, go to, look at Crochdale School of Engineering in Austin, Texas. Send them a resume down there, or RP, tell them you're looking for an engineer.
We can't hire an engineer right out of college.
Any other discussion? If not, our next meeting will be August 18th. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. Let's have a motion and a second. Could you call the roll, please?
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, we're adjourned.